Hi there and welcome to Kew Gardens, and if you've been a long time follower of this channel, you know we've been here once before, but it was at Christmas. So we thought if we come down here during the winter and see what's on, then when summer comes there'll be even more to do. Plus also there's an orchid exhibition on and we're going to show you some of the amazing sights and colours from that. By the way, must also let you know this is our first video in 4K, so if you've got a large telly, put it on and let us know your thoughts on the quality. So welcome to London in the first day of spring. Yes, we shot this at the beginning of March this year, so we wanted to get this up as quick as possible. And as you can tell, it's a dull and dreary day. So if Kew Garden is good in this, it's going to be great at any time. So the plan today is to see what's open, and we're going to take you to some of the different houses, show you some great views and also give you some tips as well as doing the aerial walkway, which is absolutely incredible. Plus we're also going to show you the orchid exhibition that's on. So the first stop on our trip is the Temperate House. The Temperate House originally opened in 1859 and was designed by the architect Decimus Burton. You may have heard that name before, as he designed many of the different places and things in London. Covering nearly 5,000 square metres and at a height of 19 metres. The building took 40 years to construct. This is the largest greenhouse here at Kew, and also it's the world's largest surviving Victorian glass structure. The glass house contains plants and trees from the temperate regions of the world, some of which are extremely rare. One thing Kew Garden have done really well, which is to label the different areas and also what you're looking at. So when you get into these glass houses, you can see very, very quickly what you're looking at. Whilst we're going to be showing you a lot of the plants and a lot of the trees in today's video, I'm not going to name any of them because one, I couldn't remember what they were, and two, if I was to try and pronounce the Latin names, we could be here till next Christmas when we come back to Kew to do Christmas at Kew next year. Now, one of the things I can't recommend highly enough if you're coming here is to take these stairs up here to the viewing gallery. Yes, which is about 15 metres high. And you take these stairs, spiral staircase, all the way to the top. And the views, which you're going to see in a minute, are amazing. The viewing area purely covers this main gallery in the centre. As to the side are a couple of octagons where you can see even more different temperate plants as well, which I'll show you in a couple of minutes. Also, if you pick your time right to come down here, which is basically before summer hits and everyone thinks of going to Kew Gardens because it's a great thing to do during the summer, you can spend as much time as you want in the galleries because people aren't pushing to get past you. Although I decided to go and have a look elsewhere. One of the things I was absolutely amazed by, and you'll see a bit later as well, but quite often you'd see these plants because sort of hummingbirds would be attracted by the nectar, and you'd see these on David Attenborough programmes and just wouldn't actually realise you can see them here at Kew Gardens as well. If you're an avid watcher of our London visited YouTube videos, you'll know that I like a good water feature. So apologies, you're going to get quite a few different water features in different places because they're here, but also they're just so mesmerising. This giant palm from Africa looks like a bird of paradise. Now we go from the warmth inside to outside into the fresh air, and welcome to the Treetop Walkway. This walkway is 18 metres, which is 59 feet off the ground. So to enjoy the walk, you're going to have to walk up the stairs and also walk down them. But the good news is they've had a lift here for quite some time and they're currently renovating it, so that should be completed quite soon. So if you need a lift, I would give it a month or two, and also definitely check with them as well down here at Kew Gardens. Give them a call. Now we've got a surprise up here for you as well. Not only have we got great views, but we've got something coming up which I just couldn't believe, so do keep watching. But as you can see, the aerial walkway is the same height at the top of the tree, so you really do get a fantastic view. Right, if you're not sure whether you want to come up here or not, let me tell you a bit about the structure, but more importantly the floor, because the floor is made of perforated metal, and as you can see here, if you look the other way, you can see down through it. Also, not only that, it also flexes a bit under your foot. It's perfectly safe and there's lots of support, so you might want to just consider that. Also, one other thing to take into consideration, which is the entire structure sways in the wind. Thankfully it wasn't a windy day when we went, but you need to bear that in mind as well. The walkway gives you fantastic views over Kew Gardens. That was the palm house, and also if you've got a really clear day and you're looking out this way, you can see the City of London, which is just over there in the haze. Yes, as you can tell, it was a rainy day for us. Up at this height you really feel at one with the wildlife, and also the noise of the birds is quite incredible. And then we realised why. Like St James's Park and a lot of the London parks, Kew Garden is home to lots and lots of parakeets, and here we have one in the tree, extremely tame, right by the side of the walkway. Even with myself and other people moving around the walkway, the parakeet decided it was not going to move, and instead sat there having a good preen. I knew I was going to see some special things when we came here to Kew Garden, but I didn't realise the wildlife was going to be one of those. And I hope you enjoyed that, our little bird festival. So this is the Temperate House we were in before, and the building in the middle is the one with the gallery that we walked around, with the two side buildings by there. I really hope you're enjoying our visit, and if you are, do us a favour, give us a thumbs up, will you? Because that'll help spread this video out to more people so they can love London as well. As you look around, you'll see this giant pagoda, which is part of the ground, so if you do get a chance, go out and have a good look and visit it. It really is quite stunning when you get up close to it. The pagoda you're looking at was built in 1761 when the gardens were originally created, so it still remains from that time. By the way, if you look at the steel supports and think, I'm not sure about that, they're actually built and designed to rust, so they have a tree-like appearance to help the walkway fit in visually with the surroundings. And even at this height off the ground, Kew have given lots of different pieces of information which they've put in these alcoves, so as you go around you can learn more about the surroundings you're in. The walkway is only about 200 metres in length, but you can take your time and go around and really take it all in, so can't recommend highly enough getting up here on this canopy walkway. Right, that's me done up here. Time to go down and have a look and see what the rest of Kew Gardens has got to offer. And believe you me, there's loads more to come. Now it was interesting, once we did Kew Gardens at Christmas, I had a comment from someone and said, would you please stop featuring Kew, it's not in London. Right, I'm going to carry on featuring Kew and anything that's on the London Underground system. For me, that covers London, so yep, we're doing Kew. You can also see with the temperatures around London that with the slight warmth that you've got, you can see spring is already starting to appear right at the very beginning of March. Kew Gardens is a massive 330 acres of gardens and glasshouses, so really you do need to make sure you've got a map, and then there's no way you're going to get lost because they've got lots and lots of different direction posts, and we'll show you some of those later. It's more a case of making sure you plan well, because you could spend a whole day walking around and not see what you really want to. So do make sure that you put in a bit of time and effort beforehand to cross off the things you really want to go to. And we're going to show you some more of those still before the end of the video. Not only has Kew Garden got its amazing plant and tree collection, but also it's got 8.5 million preserved plant and fungal specimens. The library itself contains more than 750,000 volumes of books, and the illustration collection contains more than 175,000 prints and drawings of plants. Now that was an amazing raft of numbers, and I hope you were taking note because I might ask some questions later. Now, whilst you'll get a map when you get to the entrance and come into Kew Gardens, also you'll find you've got these signposts all over the place to show you where to go. And the black signposts above show you the different places within, and the white signposts, which are lower, show you the entrance and exits to get in and out of Kew Gardens if you want to go back. Now I know we have some great history fans that love watching this channel, so let's give you some history on Kew Gardens, which has been dated far back as at least 1759, if not beforehand, when it was formed by Henry Lord Capel of Tewkesbury. It's believed the whole area became gardened when royalty lived out in Richmond, which is just down the road, especially when Edward I moved his court there in 1299. It's also believed that Kew was developed under Henry VII, when a lot of his courtiers who were going to Richmond Palace went to Kew to live because it was just down the road. Here we're entering the Princess of Wales Conservatory, and the reason we're going into here is it's the Costa Rica and Orchids Exhibition. You could say the things we're going to see are either going to be very prickly or very, very beautiful. The exhibition goes right around the conservatory, but I tell you something, I couldn't believe how big it was, so I brought you a selection. The conservatory was opened in 1987 by Diana, Princess of Wales, in commemoration of her predecessor Augusta's associations with Kew. The conservatory houses 10 computer-controlled microclimatic zones, and it certainly feels it because you're in and out of doors, and then all of a sudden you hit a different set of displays. And a bulk of the greenhouse volume is composed of dry tropics and wet tropics. The whole conservatory was designed to minimise the amount of energy taken to run it, and the cooler zones are grouped around the outside, and the more tropical zones are in the central area, which is where we are now, where the heat is conserved, and it certainly feels it. There's no doubt how distinctive this conservatory is, because the glass roof extends right down to the ground, which helps to maximise the use of the sun's energy. An interesting fact is, during the construction of the conservatory, a time capsule was buried which contains seeds of basic crops, endangered plant species, and also key publications on conservation. This display is extremely well put together, even including these two massive wooden turtles. Now for me, you've got to be careful here, because you could walk past this tree without even noticing it as it blends in. But this is the cocoa tree, and just look at the pods with the cocoa in it. Ah, for a chocoholic like me, God, I love that tree. This is a fantastic display they put on at Kew, and for me, without doubt, it's these different flowers and their brightness of colours that really does attract you to it. And it's one of those tours that I just went round and round several times, and you might remember these from nature programmes, because I'm sure it was the hummingbirds that put their long beaks into there to get the nectar out. Now, is it me, or have we not featured a waterfall on here for some time? So there you go. I feel much better now we've had another waterfall on here. One thing I haven't spoken about is the incredible smell that these flowers have all given off. And also, I'd like you to consider this as a public service from London Visited to anyone out there that has hay fever. This is your way to enjoy the display without having any symptoms whatsoever. And yes, another waterfall, but I promise you this is the last one. Now, before we finish in the Orchid House and we head outside back to look around Kew Gardens, how about these beautiful colours? When you come out of the back of the conservatory, you're then right opposite this, which is the Hive. And as you can see here, it's all about bees. And this is the sculpture and multi-sensory experience. This experience opened in 2016 and is 17 metres, 56 feet tall. It's to help have an understanding of the life of bees and just listen to the gentle hum. I would guess when this is open and you walk in here, you feel like a bee yourself inside the hive. Now, we've got another glass house to come yet, but let me tell you, believe it or not, Kew Gardens have their own police force called the Kew Constabulary, which is under the 1872 Parks Regulation Act. It was formerly known as the Royal Botanic Gardens Constabulary, and it has 2 sergeants and 12 officers who patrol the grounds in a marked silver car. So, if you've got anyone in your party misbehaving, you've now got the ultimate threat. Now, this is the Palm House, and we're going to go in there very, very shortly. But let's just give you a view round from there, because you can really take in the lake, which is right in front of this beautiful old house here at Kew Gardens. Can you imagine if it looks this good on a wet and dreary day at the beginning of March? Just think what it would look like with all of the flowers out in summer. Beautiful. Now let's go into the Palm House, and this has got to be the greenhouse, which has got the most different temperature that you can really feel. You can really feel the humidity in here. And also, you may well hear some hissing, which is steam being generated and being pumped around the greenhouse for the palms. Now, in the central part of the Palm House, where I'm standing filming this at the moment, as you can see, we're on another gallery walkway, and it can be a little bit difficult to find the steps to go up and the steps to come down, but when you do find them, the views from here are absolutely incredible. Again, like the Temperate House, once you get up to these viewing galleries, you can walk around as many times as you like. There's no limitation. So come up here and really take in the atmosphere. If you're coming to Kew Gardens, your best way to get here is on the Underground. It's on the District Line, and it's on Kew Gardens Station, and it's literally no more than a 5-minute walk through the villagey part of Kew, which is really, really nice little walk through. If you're coming here, you can definitely book your tickets in advance, although you can get some on the gate when you get here, providing it's not a busy time. Now, the ideal time to come here is definitely during winter, although you won't see all the flowers, but also come in spring or autumn. The reason I would avoid summer is, can you imagine being in these greenhouses with the sun blazing through? Wow! That is certainly something I wouldn't recommend. The heat in here would be incredible. And it's interesting, you can see the effects of the damp atmosphere on all of the metalwork, and that's why it's got a rust tinge to it. So what was your favourite part of Kew Gardens? Do let us know in the comments down below, it'd be great to see. If you enjoyed your views around Kew Garden, how about one better? Why not go to the garden at Buckingham Palace, and we can help you with that, because I've put a video for you for that up in the top right hand corner. So if you click on there, you can see the beautiful back gardens of Buckingham Palace. And if you click on it, I'll see you there in a second.